Verruckt, a DLC map following after Toten, and is considered to be one of, if not, the scariest map of all time, and it still holds up that title in my opinion. Its mystery and screams that echoes in the halls of this place can lead a new player to shiver in the corner, while also making veterans to still bat an eye on what lurks in the darkness of this decrepit asylum. Let's talk about why Verruckt reigns king as the most horrifying and one of the hardest maps on COD Zombies. Before we get into Zombies, I'm going to be talking about its first appearance in World at War, and might as well include Noct's first appearance too, since it'd only be fair. You can find Noct's first appearance in the campaign mission called Hard Landing. It still has its destroyed appearance, but you can now see it during the daytime on the side of the Americans, whilst Verruckt stands tall in the mission Ring of Steel, when you play on the Russian side. Toten's name in English is Night of the Living Dead, and Verruckt's name in English is Asylum or Crazy. Now I can completely stop about talking about Noct, and we can talk about Verruckt. Firstly, you'll be getting the true Verruckt experience if you play this with friends. Reason being is because there's a door that will separate you and your crew with no way of getting to each other. The only way you can reunite with your pals is by turning on the power at the other side of the asylum. Very quickly, this map sets a tone of it being outright unsettling to even look at, especially with its orange glow from the sun and the overall emptiness on the outside of Verruckt. There are trees everywhere and there's no life in sight. Not only that, but there's a thick fog that surrounds the whole place with no way of knowing if there's life behind it. It feels like you're trapped, and if anything, staying inside the asylum is far safer than whatever is outside. It's like the Russians bombed the place one last time, and this is the final result of the Russians' ruthless wrath. Ashes and fire circles Verruckt, which kind of goes into my theory of it being bombed. However, if we forget about what's outside, what's inside this place? Well, this whole place went to shit, with rubble and debris littering the halls. Water falls from the ceiling, and the kitchen is riddled with gibberish like a patient was off their meds that day. The last saving grace though is when you finally reach the other side with not only the mystery box, but the power box. This is the first time you get something like this, and the disembodied hand being on the lever doesn't make things any easier to try to make this map any less scarier. And when you flip the switch, it's as if you finally woke up whatever was left in Verruckt. I want to talk about the new things that came into this map and what made this map memorable, scary, and overall innovative. Of course, we get the introduction of the perk machines that we all know and love. We got Quick Revive and Juggernaut on either side of spawn, Speed Cola on the right side of the map near the kitchen, and lastly Double Tap on the left side near the bathrooms. Compared to what we all know from the perks from Black Ops 1 to current Zombies, some of these perks worked a bit differently. Jug and Speed Cola worked the same, while Double Tap and Quick Revive were different in some aspects. Firstly, Quick Revive, it didn't work in solo. If you get this perk, you just wasted 1500 points because it doesn't revive you when you go down. You just straight up lose the game. Co-op though, it's the same thing, you just revive your teammate faster. Double Tap was complete trash though. It makes your gun shoot faster, and that's pretty much it. It didn't double your damage like in any other Treyarch COD games. Although this may sound useful since some guns definitely need that buff, are you really going to use them? The only guns you should be using because of it being valuable for gaining points or being powerful overall is either the Thompson, Flamethrower, or the MG42. They're powerful in their own way, like the Thompson for points, Flamethrower for training to get to high rounds, and MG42 for that firepower. Double Tap will just make you waste your ammo quicker if anything. There's the Raygun too, and yeah, the perk can help it somewhat, but after like round 15, it's not going to matter. Another thing we got that was different was actually another weapon, the bar with a bipod. And guess what, you don't even get to use it correctly. It's literally just a regular bar, but with a selfie stick to let the zombies know that you made a poor financial decision. We'll get to why in a few. Besides that, we get another lethal equipment, which is still loved to this day, the Bouncy Baddies. You can put hundreds of these babies in a room, and if you get all the zombies into this room, 1, hopefully your PC is good, because it's going to crash your game, and 2, it'll destroy those zombies. It's a great equipment that hasn't made its return in a long time. Please Trigger, please bring it back somehow. We got electro traps, which instantly kill zombies no matter how high of a round you're on, and will also insta-kill you if you don't have Jug, so make sure to have it. And lastly, we got a new Easter egg song, boys. It's called Lullaby of a Dead Man, and it's fire. You just have to flush this toilet 3 times and it'll come on. I don't know how people found out that you have to flush a toilet 3 times just to find a song. Someone had to be so bored that they decided to flush the toilet not once, not twice, but 3 times. Then all of a sudden, they found a hidden song. The last thing Treyarch added to Verruckt is not only scary, but just fucked up. In Knocked, their movement was just walking and running, pretty much just any other zombies. In Verruckt, it's the same thing, but then you have sprinters. These guys are fast and are terrifying. You could be running a train, you reload your gun whilst creating some distance, but then you turn around and this motherfucker is in your face. Who at Treyarch thought of this? You gave many kids jump scares just by adding this. The one memory I had of this map was when I was little, when I was visiting a relative and he mentioned that his son had games in his room. I saw that he had World of War and booted it up to play Knocked, but then I saw that he had 3 other maps. At this point in time, I didn't understand the concept of DLC maps, so I thought he unlocked it somehow, so I decided to boot up Verruckt instead, since it was the second map, and when I loaded it up, I heard one scream from a disembodied voice, and immediately turned off the console, and the first time I ever played Verruckt was on Black Ops 3 a decade later. A memory that I won't forget about this map. Now what makes this map hard to get to higher rounds compared to others is how tight the corridors are and how shitty the guns feel. Remember that Pack-a-Punch isn't introduced yet, so any gun you'll use up till Deriz will be really bad and won't be killing when you start getting to higher rounds. That's why perks like double tap won't make any difference, since it will just make you run out of ammo faster. It's pretty much the old strat in Knocked, but on hard mode, since these zombies have many ways of trapping you in a corner and none of your guns will save you. People have found new strats later on in Verruckt's life cycle that camping near this window while using the traps will get you to higher rounds. It's a bit tricky, but doable. Before this video ends, I want to do a lightning round about this game since I want to make this a regular tradition like I did in Knocked Untold. Firstly, if you were to no-clip into the floor underneath the fountain, there's a mysterious mounted MG42 just sitting in the void. You could also use the gun by going into the fountain, but since it's in the void, you won't be able to shoot any zombies. This was brought back in Black Ops 3, but this time a floor was added with corpse. Like, why? I feel like they had an Easter egg of sorts that allowed you to go to the fountain, but scrapped it later on. I could be wrong, but it's only speculations. It would have been really cool to see what we could have gotten and been able to use this gun, whether it was on World of War or Black Ops 3. I have always had a strange feeling that they actually made it possible on Black Ops 3, but it just hasn't been discovered yet. I know for sure I'm wrong on that, but a man could dream. I'm also really not sure on why they brought it back and added more details to the gun that we can never use either. There's also this blue square, but it's not really that important since I don't even know what it does. If you bump your character into the perk machines, they actually make a noise. It's kind of soothing to me, and I just wanted to add that in. Another cool detail about the perks are their promotional posters. You can find them around the map near the perk machines, detailing on their purpose. However, the 2 details that you can miss is that Speed Cola is the only perk that lists its price, which is 10 cents and is also misleading, while Quick Revive has an old design of the symbol. Instead of a man coming out of its grave, it's the RR line you'd find in machines used by doctors to detect heartbeat. There's a flag in Verruckt that is different from the flag you'd see in Ring of Steel. If you go to the balcony where double tap is, you'd see that the flag isn't of a swastika that we'd see in the campaign. This time it's actually of the Black Eagle. I'm guessing this flag was updated because in its lore, but it takes place on September 6, 1945. This is 4 days after World War II ended. I'm not really sure on how this is possible and if this is an error on their part since this place was pretty much abandoned. Lastly, remember when I talked about the bar with the bipod? Yeah, I also said that you can't use it correctly. Here's what I mean. In order for you to use the bipod, you have to be in the small room where you bought it and you think that you could use the window that it's intended for. But nope, it doesn't work. You can't even use this on the balcony where you can oversee the fountain. So to use this gun, you need a teammate and your partner needs to crouch near the window or balcony and then you can use the bipod on your teammate. I have a link to a video that shows what I mean, and I have no clue why it allows you to mount on your teammate's head. I feel like this window and the balconies are bugged out, but this isn't true either, because no guns can mount in anything. I tried it with the Browning, the MG42, FG42, and the bar, and nothing happened. So either the guns are bugged out, or the window and balcony are. Most likely both. And yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys do enjoy this video, and I am thinking about doing Shi no Numa as well, but I'm not going to be doing Deriz, mainly because there wouldn't really be any reason to do so since I already did a video on it. And I don't know if I really mentioned this in the Deriz video, but I was not actually going to make reviews like that until I scrapped a certain video about Derice. It was going to be about why I thought the original Beauty of a Nation is just straight up way better than the remix, because the remix is pretty bad in my opinion. But then I realized that the video was kind of bad, and I was getting clips on the Derice map, and something about it was just freaking me out. So I made a video about why I thought it was really creepy. And that's how the video came out, and now we have Nocturne Totem and now Verruckt. And I'm going to be doing Ashino Numa, and this is actually be one of the first times I actually get to like play the map, because I didn't really play the map as much. But I do know that from personal experience, when I did play when I was very little, because this is my first time in a long time, it did somewhat freak me out, but not to a certain extent to where Verruckt and Derice was at a certain point. It's just something about the map on Ashino Numa that is just kind of weird than scary in my opinion. And whenever that time comes, I'll make sure to get that video out. So I hope you guys do enjoy yourself when watching this video. Make sure you guys stay safe and stay hydrated, and I'll see you guys next time.